As an old player who recently rediscovered his love for this game, I have been on a journey relearning a bunch of archetypes that ended up getting support from my day and a bunch of archetypes in Yu-Gi-Oh! That I've never heard of. And today we are going to be diving into an archetype that I've never heard about before, and it's going to be the Amorphage. I just said Amorphage MV, that's what I was about to say, but the Amorphage archetype over here, okay? We are starting off with a pendulum monster over here. I don't know exactly what else we're going to take a look at. I do know that there's quite a bit of cards to take a look at. I've never heard about this, but anyways, let's talk about it. 0 attack, 20/50 defense. Pendulum effect is while you control an Amorphage monster, neither player can activate cards or effects as chain link 2 or higher. Once per turn during your standby phase, tribute 1 monster or destroy this card. And for the monster effect, if this card is pendulum summoned or flip face up, neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck while this card is face up on the field except Amorphage monsters. Okay, so starting off, I kind of get the vibe for it. Slowing things down, a little bit of a anti-meta-ish type card over here, but I don't know if the rest of them are going to look like that. Regardless, I really want to make a card art commentary video already because this card is insanely cool to look at. But let's continue on over here, guys. Okay, I see where this is going. The next card's going to be Gluttony over here. Weird looking build for the cards, eh? Okay, for the pendulum effect, while you control an Amorphage monster, monsters cannot activate their effects except Amorphage monsters. Once per turn during the standby phase, tribute 1 monster or destroy this card. If this card is pendulum summoned or flip face up, neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck. Okay, so kind of the same deal over here. I don't know if these are the only 2 pendulum monsters that we're going to take a look at. Regardless, both of them are very good. Both of them kind of slow down the game. Both of them turn into like an anti-meta-ish type card. As a player historically who has played anti-meta decks, I am so for that. Let's continue on over to the Goliath over here. And this is the first one with a lot of attack points, 2750, okay? For the pendulum effect, while you control an Amorphage monster, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Oh yeah, it definitely is like an anti-meta deck now, isn't it? Except for the Amorphage cards. Once per turn during your standby phase, tribute 1 monster or destroy this card. Neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck except Amorphage monsters. Okay. I'm seeing the picture for these ones. Now, I don't know how easy it's going to be to keep these monsters on the field and you have to tribute 1 monster, destroy the card, because you probably, but then again, this is probably just balancing the deck, right? Because I'm thinking if you have all of these monsters out, you're going to have to tribute multiple monsters at the end of each turn. Maybe there's cards that you can use for tokens or things like that. I don't know. Maybe there's a card out there that's like tribute your opponent's monster instead of a monster that you want. Let's get into greed over here, guys. While you control a Amorphage monster, neither player can activate trap cards or their effects except for Amorphage cards. Once per turn during your standby phase, tribute 1 monster or destroy this card. If this card is pendulum summoned or flip face up, neither player... Oh, do they all have the same effect there? If it's the same effect, I'm just going to skip out on it to not mess up or waste time on your video over here. But again, a little bit more of the same, except this time we are stopping trap cards. Let's keep going over here to the next Amorphage monster over here. This one has an attack of 1350. While you control an Amorphage monster, neither player can activate spell cards or their effects except for Amorphage cards. Once per turn during the standby phase, tribute 1 monster or destroy this card. If this card... Oh, same deal. Okay. So it's stopping a lot of people from summoning from the extra deck. I could see this deck actually being very good, but the question is, like, again, I don't know if the fact that every single monster, you have to destroy it during the end phase of the standby phase or tribute a monster, I don't know if that's necessarily one that would... be too great there. Maybe I'm thinking like, I'm just thinking as a frog player, but I don't even think that you can play frog monarchs anymore. I'm thinking of like Treeborn Frog, keeping getting it back out on the field. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's keep going over here over to Pride. Dude, these cards artwork are so cool, man. I love it. Anyways, while you control a Amorphage monster, neither player takes any effect damage. Ooh, oh, wait, does it count if you're using the Solemn cards? Because I often talk about on the channel that I'm a big fan of just, if I can have 3 Solemn Judgments in my deck, I'm using them. I love the Solomon cards. Anyways, neither player takes any effect damage. Once per turn during your standby phase, tribute 1 monster or destroy this card. And of course, it does have the same monster effect as usual, guys. Let's keep going over here to the Sloth. While you control an Amorphage monster, neither player can add cards from their deck to their hand except by drawing them. Dude, are we just gonna like go through everything? Are we just gonna go through everything that there is to go through? Dude, I'm actually gonna build this deck. I'm completely serious. Anybody, if you can answer this question for me, is this... Never mind. I was just about to say, is this deck viable in Yu-Gi-Oh! Genesis? But I'm thinking, okay, yeah, no pendulums. That's the first pendulum deck that I've ever been interested in playing. But anyways, okay. We have the same effect over here where, sorry. Your opponent cannot, or neither player can add cards from their deck to their hand except you. Then we have Wrath over here. Dude, I can't stop looking at the artwork, man. Anyways, same monster effect over here. While you control an Amorphage monster, neither player can tribute monsters except Amorphage monsters. Once per turn, same deal. I'm not going to repeat them over and over and over again, but it looks like we're covering absolutely everything. Oh, maybe that is everything, because now we're moving on to the spell cards, okay? We have Amorphage Infection over here. All Amorphage monsters in the field gain 100 in attack and defense for each Amorphage card on the field. If a monster or monsters in your hand or you control is tributed or destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add one Amorphage card from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Both of these are great. The little attack boost is very helpful, especially because there are a lot of monsters that can get over these guys, but I think this is extremely helpful. Again, you get the search as well with that. Let's continue on over to Lysis. It's a continuous trap over here. Dude, this is some of the coolest artwork that I've seen on cards. All monsters in the field except Amorphage monsters lose 100 attack and defense for each Amorphage card on the field. If a card or cards in your Pendulum Zone is destroyed except during a damage step, you can place one Amorphage Pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum Zone. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, I like this because you can use the effect to destroy the card and then just replace it with another one. That I'm for. I don't recall. Let me take a look at those monsters really quick over here, because I was gonna say I don't recall. What, you just destroy this card? Okay, so I was thinking like if you destroy it, you mean I don't know if there was an effect out there where it's like you can only activate one of these monsters once per turn. So can you just end up replacing the monster, the same monster if you have 3 copies? I think that'd be pretty cool. But on top of that, you have a card now where your monsters gain attack and your opponents lose attack as well. That all stacks up very quickly, and I'm also a big fan of number 103 Ragnazir. I think it's a very fun card to have, so that would definitely do well in this deck too. But we have a field spell with it. Dude, this deck's touching everything, eh? We have Amorphous Persona. All Amorphage monsters in the field gain 300 in attack and defense. Up to twice per turn, if an Amorphage monster or monsters you control is tributed, draw 1 card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, tribute Pendulum monsters in your hand or field whose total levels equal to 8. Then Ritual Summon. We have a Ritual monster too? Okay. Ritual Summon 1 Amorphactor Pain, the Imagination Draco Overlord from your hand. Okay. Don't know what that's going to be about, but that's also a good card. You can just tell, right? Dude, this deck's touching everything. We were just missing the, and there he is. That is certainly a name. It looks like this might be the big baddie of the deck over here. Okay, 2950. You can Ritual Summon this card with 1 Amorphous Persona. If this card is Ritual Summoned, your opponent skips the next main phase 1. Negate the effects of face-up fusion, synchro, and XYZ monsters while they're on the field. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Draco Overlord monster from your deck to your hand, except this card. Okay, so that just seals the deal for all of it. It negates the effect of everything besides rituals. This is like an anti-meta deck that's actually built to be anti-meta. Very cool. Then we have the other Lector Pendulum, the Draco Overlord, or the Draco Overlord. I don't know how to pronounce that. Really creepy looking card. Negate the effects of face-up Pendulum monsters while your opponent controls them. All right, just sealing the deal with the rest of it, eh? At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a Pendulum monster, destroy both that monster and this card. Very, very interesting there. I thought that would be a little bit more of a boss monster the way they were kind of hyping it up, but I liked it too. Okay, we have a little bit of another one. We have the Vector Pendulum, the Drago Overlord. Negate all card effects in your opponent's Pendulum zones, and it's just a normal monster. Okay, you don't see that too often anymore, eh? This is a very, very, very interesting archetype. If I played the modern game, this would be something that I would definitely be interested in playing. Maybe I can just build a deck, but I don't know. I haven't been too interested in the modern game with the links and all that, guys, to be honest with you. I've been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Genesis. I like my game without pendulums, but that's the first time I've looked at a pendulum deck, and I thought, you know what? That's something that I would like to play. But if you want to hear me break down another deck and learn about it, then why don't you check out this video on screen right here. I would love to have you guys over there. Thank you so much for watching and for your time today, guys. Take care, everybody.